Hi friends, so today is Sunday, March 24th. Yeah, March 24th. So that means it is the start of the Endgame Readathon. I finished this book last night, Marilyn Monroe and the Movies by Timothy Knight. It was very textbook-like. It just kind of did a analyzation of each of her movies and what they were about and what was going on in her life during those movies. It was a really good read. I just don't think I'll be picking it up again in the future, so I probably will be unhauling this at the end of the month. But yeah, every bit I read helps me learn more, so that's the way I look at it, you know? So I was going to do the prompt for the WASP, which is short read, big impact, I believe, and I was going to pick up Power of a Positive Woman. And I thought this was going to be about, like, embracing the optimism and joy and positivity in life, and it wasn't. I didn't mind what it was, which is a, like, analyzation of how to find the, like, what the power of being a positive means for Christianity. I don't have a problem with that. I did have a problem with the lack of feminism in it. The very first chapter talked about everything boys like to do and everything girls like to do and how they're separate and how we need to embrace our differences and everything. And that's just not how I believe we should be, and I just felt like that was going to be the whole tone of the book. So I decided not to keep reading it. Instead of doing The Power of a Positive Woman for the WASP prompt, I decided to pick up Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. I'm interested to read this because that's not necessarily my mentality when going into leadership. So I'm interested to see what this is about and kind of do a quick read of this. It's a little over 200 pages long, so it should be a quick and easy read. I mean, the text doesn't even fill the whole page, so I should be able to fly through this, which should be good. And then moving on to my other prompt, which is Captain America and Vision, I believe. I picked up Anne of Green Gables. I'm about 42 pages in, which is the start of chapter 4. I don't necessarily know how I feel about this because classics aren't necessarily what I'm drawn to, but I'm giving it a chance and maybe I'll find something in a new genre that I like. If any of you have recommendations for classics you think I might like, I'm definitely open to hearing what they could be. I'll keep you updated on how I feel about Anne of Green Gables though. So my plan for this week is to read at least half of my TBR books from the Endgame Readathon prompts, just so I'm not stressing in April about getting all of those prompts done for not only the Endgame Readathon and the Owl's Magical Readathon, but I'm also going to be doing a read-along collab video with some other booktubers, so I have to read that book, and I have to read the Books with Friends book club book of the month, and then there's a few others that I just have on my list that I'd like to read because they are part of the next theming for Owlcrate, and I'm getting Fairy Loot for April. So just to prepare for those boxes, I'm hoping to read a few of those books and know what's going on before I go into it and open up an item and be like, oh, what's this from? Because I don't like doing that. I like knowing what it's from because I'm weird. But yeah. So my plans for this week are to read at least 6 or 7 of the books from my TBR. I'll probably be doing Anne of Green Gables, Heartless, The Fault in Our Stars, my WASP prompt, one of my audiobooks, so Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Crooked Kingdom, that's 6, and maybe this big book of Marilyn Monroe. So that'll be 7 books down this week, which would be awesome, but I will keep you updated on whether that actually happens or not. So I have to head into work now, but I just wanted to show this. Anthony's sister was cleaning out her closet and she didn't want this, and I love it. It's You Want a Revolution, I Want a Revelation, Hamilton. But anyways, I do have to head into work, so I'll be there all night, so I won't be updating you later tonight, but I will check in with you tomorrow. Hi friends, it is Monday, March 25th, and I have not read nearly as much as I normally do the past 2 days. I've only gotten halfway in Anne of Green Gables when normally I would be on to the next book or 2 by now. I just got home really late last night and woke up late this morning and just couldn't get into the reading mood. This is a really easy read, so it's not like it's difficult to push through. It's just I'm not in the reading mood for some reason, so I just ended up watching some Netflix and eating breakfast and all that, and then I finally worked up the nerve and read to page 205, which is the start of chapter 19. So far, I'm not sure how I'm feeling about this still yet. I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not what I'm used to. I really enjoy Anne. She's a great character, and I love her imagination, and I think it's inspiring to have that kind of imagination. I don't know if I'll keep this book in particular, like this physical book. I would prefer a nicer version of this one. If I do end up finishing it and liking it, I'm not like a huge fan of this cover, but I think I might keep the book until I get a nicer version of it. Yeah, I'll keep you updated on if I like it or not once I'm finished. Clearly, I'm only halfway through, so I'll keep you updated on that. And I meant to read or listen to the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets audiobook, and I thought that I had it on my library app, the Libby app, I think it's called, and then I realized I only had it on hold and I wouldn't get it for another 7 weeks. So I'm gonna have to do either find some way to get the audiobook from Harry Potter, because I don't really want to dish out $25 for it on iTunes. So I need to find some way to get this on audiobook or pick a different book for my other 2 prompts, because I had this and Prisoner of Azkaban as the audiobook for 2 of my prompts. So I'm going to have to figure something out there. Let me know if you know any way to get the audiobook at either free, which would be really cool, or a cheaper price than $25 at least, because that's a little rough. And then, just because I haven't been in the reading mood doesn't mean that I don't think I can power through. I have a few short books coming up, so I've got The Fault in Our Stars, Helpless, and Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office, and these all seem very easy and quick reads, as well as the Marilyn Monroe book that I chose for my Hulk and Ant-Man prompts. So these 4 books should be fairly easy to fly through, so I'm not worried about getting behind on books. It's just I'm not as far ahead as I'd like to be, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's all I have for today. Just wanted to update you guys and keep you on track with me for where I am with my Endgame Readathon and just in general with March. But that's where I'm at, so I will check in with you tomorrow. Hi friends, it is now Tuesday, March 26th, and I still have been really bad about reading. I'm just like finding it a real struggle to get through this book, and it's not the book's fault. I'm just not in a reading mood lately, which is really bad because this week was supposed to be like reading like crazy so that I wasn't reading like crazy in April, but here we are. So I'm now on page 330 of Anne of Green Gables. I really enjoy this book. I figured it out. I do like the book. It's probably my favorite classic. I haven't read many. I've read like Black Beauty. I love Little Women, so that might be up there too. But this is a really good classic. It's definitely not something I am drawn to normally, but I love Anne as a character. And I definitely think I'm going to be picking up the Barnes & Noble exclusive version of this because it's so pretty and it's yellow, which is one of my favorite colors. So I think I'm going to be picking that up and unhauling this physical copy and then getting the other one from Barnes & Noble at some point. But I'll keep you updated as I go, but I do really love Anne. And honestly, that's all I've done. So not much to update on. Check in with you later. Hi friends, it is Wednesday, March 27th, and I have finished Anne of Green Gables finally. So I really enjoyed it in the end. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It did have quite a few moments that were a little bit slower, and the storyline wasn't what I was quite captured by, but I really love Anne, and I identified with her a lot from when I was a child, and I felt myself thinking about her way of things a lot more since I've finished the book, so that's been an interesting read. And I just found out this is actually a series, so I'm probably going to be picking up the series because I want to know what happens next to Anne, and I didn't think I'd feel that way about a classic. So that was a quite surprising and enjoyable surprise. Yeah. Next, I tried to pick up the Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office. I had to DNF it, not for a reason that you might think, but because pages were literally torn out of this book, so it's kind of hard to read when there are like pages torn out. There's like 5 pages here torn out, and and it's like all written in. I don't know if you can like see. Yeah, there's just the front page. So I think a child got a hold of this book. I did pick it up at the thrift store, so it's not like a huge loss, but it was a little bit disappointing because I was looking forward to reading this and learning some stuff from this book, but it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. So I had to substitute another book in for The Wasp, which is the prompt short read, sort of small book, but big impact. So I decided to pick up Taming of the Shrew by Shakespeare, and I did finish this morning, and yeah, I finished it. Cool. It is a big impact because Shakespeare had a big impact on literature and theater and everything of that sort, so I'm gonna call it a big impact, but it's not something that I find myself picking up in the future, so it was nice to read once and know what the whole story was about because I did perform a monologue from this, and looking back, I'm like, why did I perform that monologue? I have Hamlet, which I'm still going to read because I am still interested to read all of his plays, but I'm probably going to be unhauling this one, so stay tuned for my unhaul video because I've got a ton of books in the unhaul basket right now. So because I finished that book, I went ahead and picked up Heartless by Sarah Shepard. I'm on page 37, which is the start of chapter 3, and as always, these are quick and easy reads and super easy to power through, and I'm enjoying it as much as the last ones. That's all I can really say. I mean, I guess I'm enjoying it enough to want to continue the series. The story, I guess, is engaging enough that I find myself wanting to pick up the next book in the series, so I guess it's got that going for it. As you can see, I'm about to film my Harry Potter Owl's Magical Readathon TBR. See you tomorrow. Hi friends, it is Thursday, March 28th, and today is 1 month since I started my Booktube channel, so that's super exciting. I just finished filming my About Me tag, so I'm just going to give you a quick book update. I finished Heartless by Sarah Shepard. I gave it a 3 stars. I usually give the others 2 stars, but this one seemed a little bit more interesting and less on the boy drama side and more on like the actual mystery and what's going on side, so I enjoyed it a little bit more than the others. It's still a quick, easy read, and that's all I really have to say about it. Then I also finished Falling for Marilyn, which was part of my Endgame Readathon, which was the Hulk and Ant-Man big book, small, short read. I gave it a 2 stars. I gave it a 3 stars. I enjoyed it, but I just didn't love it. It has about 18 pages of text and then just a ton of pictures of Marilyn. But there is one quote. I shared it on Goodreads, but I wanted to read it here because I really enjoyed it about her. And it says, "God knows what she'll be wearing. Here's somebody who's potentially one of the richest women in Hollywood, and she's arrived here with practically no clothes. No clothes, but lots of books." And I was like, wow, that would be me if I was rich, because books are more important, let's be honest. There's other good quotes in here about her with books, and there was just some good quotes in overall. And then there was one quote at the end that like haunted me because she did die by like an overdose of sleeping pills, but she was talking about people like jumping over the edge at Niagara Falls, and then she was like, that's horrible, it'd be better to go by sleeping pills. So I was like, ooh, creepy. But again, I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I saw those pictures and everything of that nature, but I am just not gonna keep it. I think these are books that will be one-time reads unless I truly fall in love with them. So, yep. So because I finished those two, I will be picking up Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, and this will be my first ever read of this series, so I'm super excited and super nervous because this is a big series and a well-known series, so I'm interested to see how I will feel about it, so stay tuned for that.
Well, if you're sure, better be Gryffindor!
Hi everyone, it is Friday, March 29th, and we are almost at the end of March. So yesterday I started The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. I am on page 149, which is the start of chapter 10. I am loving this so far. It's such a good story. I'm very captured. I'm actually really happy because I got this at the thrift store. It's called The Gods, Demigods, and Demons, an Encyclopedia of Greek Mythology. And having this as a reference has been really, really helpful in reading this. So I definitely recommend looking up, if you don't already know the stories behind the gods or titans or anyone or the Olympians listed in here, I definitely recommend looking them up and learning their stories because it has really enhanced my reading experience of this. So I'm so happy I've had this. It's taking a little longer just because I am reading this at the same time, but I'm really enjoying this. I might even start annotating a little because I just finished my review for The Gilded Wolves and I wished I had annotated it at least in some way, so when I was discussing things I had references to look back on. So I might start like putting post-it notes in here just so if I ever do a review of this book or this series I have notes to look back on. But overall I'm really, really enjoying it, so that's really exciting because I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, and I'm happy that I'm enjoying it. So today I went with my sister to see 5 Feet Apart. I enjoyed the movie. It was exactly what I thought it was going to be, which was like another Fault in Our Stars-esque movie. And I wish I'd read the book because I know there's a book, and when I was reading reviews about the movie last night, it said that the director of the movie, who was actually Raphael in Jane the Virgin, if you didn't know, it said that he got the idea from a documentary he was doing, but it's also a book, so I don't know how that worked, so I want to do a little more research on whether this was based on the documentary or the book, or if they kind of collaborated. I'm definitely interested to look into that. But overall, I really enjoyed the movie. I'm in love with Will, so yeah. He was such a great character in the movie, and I don't want to say too much because I don't want to spoil anything, but I really enjoyed the movie, so I didn't think I was going to. I don't really like YA romance and that kind of thing, but it was really cute, and I don't know why I connected with it so much, but I did, so yeah. Also, Rico from Hannah Montana's in it, so that was funny and kind of weird to watch, but he did a really good job. This movie, I never understood why girls were obsessed with Cole Sprouse, but after this movie, I can see it a little bit. I see the attraction, I understand it, and I never thought I'd be saying that because I don't really get like attracted to celebrities, but this character, I would say that this character I liked rather than this like actor, because they're two different people and I liked the character of Will. Yeah. But moving on, I also went to the library today and I picked up the Chamber of Secrets audiobook. It's in a CD format, so I'll be listening to this in the car again, but luckily I'm going up to my boyfriend's house, which is a 2.5 hour drive next week, so that'll be 2.5 hours up and 2.5 hours back, so that gives me at least 5 hours there of listening to the audiobook, so I should be able to power through it pretty quickly. So I'm happy I'm finally moving on with this because I wasn't sure of some way to do it, but I found the physical audiobook instead of the downloadable audiobook at my library, so that was exciting. Then I also picked up Wanted just so I can keep powering through the Pretty Little Liars series. I finished Heartless the other day, and this is the last book of Arc 2, so this should be powered through pretty quickly. And then I also picked up Skyward. I couldn't find Mirage, which was my Star-Lord prompt for the Endgame Readathon, and this looks like something set in space. It talks about aliens and flight school and all that, so I think there's some space elements to this, so this will be my space adventure futuristic technology for Shuri and Star-Lord prompts. And if not, then I'll just find something else and I'll have read a good book, so win-win either way. But I am hoping to finish these two within the next couple days, just so that I'm able to put them in my March wrap-up and return them. That way I'm not like holding on to them until the end of April for an April wrap-up, because I like to have the physical books to show. So hopefully I can do that. We'll see. I might have to put the brakes on this to finish these, but that's okay because I love reading and I have the time, so yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna be watching the second half of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone with my family tonight. We watched the first half last night, as you might have seen on the little clip I put in, and I thought it would be fun to do a recipe from the unofficial Harry Potter cookbook, so I might look up a dessert to do since my mom has already made dinner. I might look up a dessert to make tonight and have with the movie watching experience, and I'll vlog that. If I find something and we have all the ingredients, I will vlog that, so stay tuned for that. Hi friends, so I finished filming my Gilded Wolves review and my April TBR. I changed outfits because I didn't want it to be the same outfit, but it is still Friday. I was going to try to make something from this book, but everything I found dessert-wise, we didn't have all the ingredients for, so I might just make some like brownies or something instead. If I do end up doing that, I'll take you along, but if not, I will check in with you tomorrow. Hi friends, it is Saturday, so I'm just going to do a quick review of my week. I read about 5 books this week, about 5.5. There was 2 books that I had to DNF this week just for various reasons, but I'll talk about those in a second. So first of all, I picked this up for my WASP prompt, which was a small book but big impact, and I thought this was going to be about looking at life through a positive lens, and it was more about like embracing our differences as men and women, and I just didn't really like the message it was giving me, so I decided to DNF this. And then to replace it, I was going to do Nice Girls Don't Get the Corner Office, and I also had to DNF this one just because it was so like vandalized and there was pages literally ripped out of it and I couldn't read it, so it wasn't the book's fault necessarily on this one. It was that I couldn't read it because there was pages ripped out and I physically couldn't read it. So those two were my DNFs. And then the first book I finished this week was Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. And I liked this a lot more than I was expecting to. It's a great classic if you're ever looking for a classic to pick up. Anne is one of the most inspiring characters I've ever read, probably one of my favorite characters of all time right now. I do want to read the rest of the series because I found out it was a series, so I'll probably go to the library for that, see if I like those books. But I want to get the exclusive Barnes & Noble like hardcover edition of this because it's so pretty and I think it would look better on my bookshelf than this, so I have yet to decide what to do with this until I get that, but I'll keep you updated on that. Next, I picked The Taming of the Shrew Up by Shakespeare, and this was to replace the other 2 books I had to DNF for my WASP prompt, and small book but big impact. This took about 2 hours to fly through because it's a side-by-side, so it's got the Shakespeare text and then like a modern English text on one side. So I only had to read half the pages. I only read the English side because it's all I really cared about at this point. I'm glad I read it just for the sake of reading a Shakespeare text, but it wasn't really my favorite play ever, so I will be passing this along and unhauling it at the end of the month. Next, I read Heartless by Sarah Shepard, which is the third book in the second arc of Pretty Little Liars. And this one was okay. Oh, no, this one was the 3 stars, so I picked it up and enjoyed it more than most of the books in the series I've read so far, because it pertained to a lot more mystery and figuring out who did what rather than boy drama, which I really enjoyed. And the relationships in it seem a lot healthier than in the past, so I enjoyed this one more than the others in the series. And I also picked up Falling for Marilyn by Jock Carroll, and it's mostly pictures from Jock Carroll's work of photography with her on set of Niagara, which is one of her films, and it's like the lost collection of those photos. And there was about 18 pages of like biography-esque stuff, you could say, and I liked some of the quotes that were stated about Marilyn or by Marilyn, so I liked it for that, but I will be unhauling it just because it's not something I'm necessarily going to pick up again in the future. Then I picked up The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, and I got to page 12, or not page 12, chapter 12, which is page 188. And that means I'm about halfway through. I'm really enjoying this, but I did put the brakes on this to pick up Skyward by Brandon Sanderson, and now I'm on page 304, which is the start of chapter 31, and I'm super enjoying this as well. I didn't know how I really felt about sci-fi. This is one of my first sci-fi books, so I am pleasantly surprised and I'm really enjoying it. I love Sansa, she's a great character, and I love Rig, and I think it's Kimmy Lynn or something like that. She's a great character too. And just all these characters are wonderful, and I really love characters, as I've stated before. But yeah, I picked this up just so that I could read it before the month was up, and I could put it in my March monthly wrap-up. That way I could return it to the library and not have to hold on to it until an April wrap-up. So I'm reading this, and I will be trying to pick up Heartless before the month is up. So I'm trying to finish these 2 books in the next 2 days. But I will keep you updated on that starting tomorrow and then in the month wrap-up. So stay tuned for that. But that is what I've done this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought of some of the books I've read and what books you're looking forward to me reading in the future, or what books you're looking forward to reading in the future. But I will check in with you tomorrow, which is the start of a new week. And that's all for now. Bye, guys.